Mi nombre è Borino. I am your coach, your host. Welcome. If this is your first time, especially warm welcome to you. I have been a real estate agent, a real estate coach, an author, a trainer, a counselor, a guide for over 20 years in this crazy industry. And it's my pleasure and a privilege to welcome you to today's session. We do these almost daily where we talk about how to get more leads, how to help more people, how to get more clients, make more money. We post these on YouTube, share them with you here on Rockstars and everywhere else so that you can get more clients, feel better, have a successful business, have the freedom that you're after. Anything you want to know? Type in the questions. Today is a especially good session. And I'm really excited, glad you're here. Let's say hello to some people who are joining us. All right. Let me do this. All right, I know it doesn't look right. There, is that better? That's better. Here you go. Mr. Derek checking in. Freddie's here. Martha's with us. Jolene, Philip, Isa saying hello, Christina. And of course, my man Jeremy and David and Sarah Marie and Gina. Lots of good people. Let's configure this one as well. That will be set up here. Boom. All right. Nice to see everybody. Welcome to the training, guys. This is a active training where I'm going to give you practical tips. I said 5 strategies. There are actually 6. There will be one bonus one. Brian, good to have you. John, welcome. So now, how do you get expired listings to pick up the damn phone, to answer the phone, to talk to you? That's our today's topic. First of all, kudos for trying to call. Kudos for reaching out. You know my story. Homeless, broke real estate agent discovers a magic formula to reach expired listings, turn them into listings. Ta-da, 10 months later, my own condo, Mercedes-Benz vacation in Venice, Italy. Good life. Now, of course, it requires work. There's more to it than that. But it was the expireds, first and foremost, that got me out of trouble. Here is why. Other than FSBOs, expireds are the best leads. If you're not working expireds, friends, you're leaving money on the table. You're leaving lots of opportunities. Think about it. You can get, just on MLS, you don't even need a system, and get leads instantly. 4, 5, 6, 10, 20, 30 leads, potential listings. And statistically, just check your MLS stats. Many of them will relist, some not right away. And some will go with the same agent, true. But many will not. And many are actively looking for a good agent. I know one right there watching this show, here with me, learning this stuff. But there are several small catches. One of them is, of course, how do you get them to pick up the phone? So today I'm going to give you a strategy that I've never publicly taught before. This is a brand new technique that I'm going to show you called the double tap. It's part of what I will share with you. Incorporate it into your prospecting, into your lead generation, into your marketing, and watch what happens. It works pretty well. I think you're going to like it. Now, as you know, I put together an entire system called the Expired Plus. Many of you have it. Thank you for being clients. This is an entire book, 120 pages of tips, scripts, dialogues, follow-up, outlines, checklists. The whole thing is right there. If you want to get it, you can. Here is the URL, expiredplus.com. Go check it out. I think it's really good. I think it's the best out there because it's written by a guy who actually did it, not who read a book or talked to another agent who did it. All right. So with that, let me give you the 5. Strategy number 1. Here we go. Number 1 strategy, good data. Good data. Can you guys see it okay? Yeah. Good data. Make sure you start this process with good data because this is what your competition is using. This is what's available out there. So what I mean by good data, there are services out there here in the United States who will provide the contact information of expired listings. Shop around. There's a whole bunch of them out there, from RedX to LandVoice to Vulcan 7 to Sales Dialers. There's a whole bunch. One that I recommend you should start with, check out first, is Espresso Agent. Espresso Agent. We actually have a relationship with them. We have a deal with them for you guys, my Rockstar students. If you use the code BORINO, B-O-R-I-N-O, they will give you a test drive 30 days for $29. Pretty good deal. But here's what it means. Regardless of which system you're going to use, you want to make sure that you're starting with the best data possible. Now, not every expired, of course, in Espresso Agent or in any of these services will be perfect. Some you will have wrong numbers, some you will never have numbers, on and on. We'll talk about that later. But start with the best you can. and having access to the information that your competition does will make the playing field somewhat even. Are you getting me? So start with good numbers to begin with. Make sure you're dialing good numbers. Yeah? So start there. That's strategy number 1. Strategy number 2. Strategy numero 2 is know the reality. You must know the reality. And here's the reality. Here's what I mean by knowing the reality. The effectiveness of calling has diminished over the years. When I started doing this in 1744, it was easy to get people on the phone. Everybody would pick up the phone. Remember, we used to have those big, you guys ever had those, remember those big phones we had in the kitchen? Where it had the long cord, the coiled cord, remember that? It used to tangle, used to trip on it. Everybody would pick up the phone. They're like, oh, somebody's calling, pretty cool. The phone numbers of the sellers used to be on our MLS in Southern California. It was easy. Times have changed. Now, the effectiveness of the phone, the number of people you're going to reach on the phone has gone down, and it's going to keep going down. Now, I don't mean to be the bearer of the bad news, but that's the reality. So set realistic expectations. What are they? No, what is realistic? Meaning, how many people will you realistically reach on the phone? This number will, of course, vary based on your area, based on a socioeconomic group you're trying to reach, based on time of day. There are all kinds of factors that play a role. We'll get into that. But I can tell you, across the board, my average so far from thousands of people that I've trained to do this stuff through the Expired Plus process is about 10% right now. It's about 10%. About 10%. That means out of 10 expireds you're going to dial, you're going to talk to one. One of them, you will have a good number and actually talk to. Now, if your numbers are higher, better, awesome. That's great. But don't be disappointed or crushed if you're saying, well, shit, I'm calling all these people and nobody's answering. The reality is if they don't recognize the number, especially if you're not calling at the right time, and I'll give you the right time in just a moment, especially if you're not doing this routinely as just part of your marketing and lead generation, just once in a while you jump on the phone because you're desperate to get a listing. We've all been there. I'm not pointing fingers, no judgment here. Well, a little bit. Understand that it will not be where you dial 10, talk to 10, schedule 3 appointments. That would not be realistic. Are you with me on that? So know that it's going to be about 10%. But what about the rest? If you have 10 expired listings, what happened to the 9 you never talked to? They'll be looking for an agent. Somebody's going to end up listing it. Now, if they go back to their old agent, they're in trouble. That's a bad choice because that agent already had done everything that was possible. That in most cases is not a good choice. They would be better off with you. So you must deploy what I affectionately refer to as multi-channel marketing or multi-channel communication. Same thing. Marketing is just communication. That means the phone is just a piece of the pie. It's not the whole answer. Nothing is the whole answer. You should never put all your eggs in one basket. There should always be multiple resources, multiple tools, and multiple channels on which you communicate to generate leads, to prospect, to follow up, to set up appointments, to communicate with your prospects, your clients, your past clients, your sphere. Multiple channels. That's the beautiful thing about this day and age. Back in the 17th century, when I was in real estate, we used to send smoke signals and pigeons. You know what I mean? Today you have all these beautiful channels, from chatbots to video, to text, to video sent through text, email, mail, direct mail, face-to-face communication, phone calls. It's phenomenal. Social media. And all of these should be part of your repertoire, part of your toolbox. Multi-channel marketing. So this way, when one performs at 10%, you still cover the rest. You still open up opportunities to connect with somebody who needs your help, who wants to pay for your service, who is ready to list, who just needs somebody to reach out. So they can grab your hand, you pull them in, walk them through the process, sell the sucker, get paid, rinse, repeat. Makes sense so far? What do you say? Yes? Hey, Jacqueline, good morning to you as well. Daryl just joined us. Camila's here. Monday. Okay, good. Jeremy says, oh yeah, well, I can show you. Show and tell. This is the show where we show and tell. The expense does not matter if you're converting. Exactly. Sarah Marie says, Vulcan is great and also most expensive, but worth really doing it. Exactly. My go-to right now is RedX, then Vulcan, then Mojo, then Espresso. Good. Whatever works for you. And what's interesting is different agents report different results. Multiple channels, even track them down on Facebook. Absolutely, yes. Hit them with all angles. Because, friends, a lot of these people are in trouble. A lot of these people need your help. A lot of these people are looking for a good agent. And as you know, the state of our industry, unfortunately, is there are a lot of shysters. A lot of snake oil salesmen. Or a lot of incompetent newbies, rookies. So it's your duty, it's your obligation to offer the best solution, which in many cases is to list with you. Are you with me so far? All right. Strategy number 3. Call early and call often. Don't rely just on one call. Multiple times. Be persistent. This is a long-term game of persistency. Real estate in general is. You will very seldom, if ever, encounter somebody, I can't believe you called, we're ready to list our house, come on down. It just doesn't happen that way. You know what I mean? Call early, call often. Now, call as early as possible. My strategy was I wanted to be one of the first one, if not the first one, agent they talk to. Why? Because I had this, call it arrogant, call it whatever, I always believed they're in better hands with me than anybody else out there. I believed in me because I thought, if I don't believe in myself, how in the world am I going to sell them on myself? You know what I mean? You believe in you is the vital part of it all. I was always convinced I will work my ass off. I'm an honest guy. I may have a funny accent, but I know my shit, and I will help them. And I will do whatever I can to guide them through that process. Now, everybody was a perfect match. Not everybody was an ideal listing. But just with this mindset, going in, understanding that I can help them, and I can do a better job than everybody else. I'm going to crush my competition, not just because I'm a little bit competitive. I'm terribly competitive, you know that. But also because I wanted to help these folks. And if they got burned by another agent, it is my obligation to step in and fix the problem if I could. Are you with me? So call early. Whatever is legal, don't do anything or say anything that will get you in trouble, please, please. Everything within the boundaries of rules and regulations, the do not call registry, what times to call and all that. Respect that. No deal is worth your license or the hassle. You hear me? Good. But with that, call early, call often. Try it. If you don't reach them in the morning, give it another shot in the afternoon, early evening, Saturday morning, Saturday night. Keep trying. Keep trying. It is the persistence that very often beats everything else. Just being persistent. Now, let me give you the double tap strategy. Called the double tap. It's actually 4 steps. Okay, you ready? So first you call. You make a phone call. If they pick up, fantastic. Have a quick conversation. You watch my videos. You've seen the simple script. Start with a pattern, interrupt, strong first impression. How you set up the first 1 to 2 to 3 seconds of the conversation will determine whether you're going to get the listing at the end. Appointment and a listing at the end. Very important. But that's for another coaching session. So first you call. Now, let's say they don't pick up, which very often it happens. In many cases, it's 9 out of 10. You wait 60 seconds. So you pause, 60 seconds. Then you call again. You ever notice, like, you get a call from a number you don't recognize, and you're like, no. I don't need health insurance, and I'm okay with my cable provider, and we found Jesus. Pause, they call back. And they're like, oh shit, this seems urgent. It creates a perception of urgency. A perception of urgency. You with me? Should we call again? Then, if they still don't pick, if they pick up, fantastic, have a conversation, use the script. If not, you're going to leave a short voicemail. Hey Jim, it's Borino with ABC Real Estate. Dude, I am so sorry about your house. I am shocked it didn't sell. I'm looking at the pictures right now. Really nice house. It'd be interesting to find out why. There are 7 homes that sold in the last 30 days in the neighborhood. Yours should have been one of them. If you're still curious, more importantly, if you're still interested in moving and selling, the price was right, obviously, hit me back. Just text me back and we'll talk. Borino, ABC Real Estate, 800-573-8492. You're going to leave a voicemail. Then you're going to follow up with the text. So it's actually not a double tap. It's a 1, 2, 3 quadruple tap. I should rename the strategy. But the double tap means you call them back twice, back to back. Okay? And then you deploy all the other channels. You go to text, you go to video, you go to mail, you go to drop-off package, you go to follow-up, 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 follow-up. Here's why all that is important, friends. And it's all in the book, by the way. It goes like this. Majority of my listings, I would start here, contact 1, contact 2, contact 3, attempt 4. Majority of my listings happen right here. This is where the dollars are. Between contact 5 and 15. It was in this window when I tried the 5th time to the 15th time, following up, trying, calling, texting, mailing, trying, boom. Somewhere here, either I reached them or they reached out to me. Persistence, friends. Now, I'm going to give you a final bonus strategy. Be ready. You've got to be ready. That means when the opportunity does present itself, somebody does pick up, you got to be on your A game. You got to deliver. And I'm not talking about the aggressive, pushy salesperson that's going to close them no matter what. I'm talking about knowing your dialogue, being in a good state, controlling your tonality, controlling the conversation, going through the dialogue outline, not reciting scripts, but being in control of the conversation by a structured conversation, all the way to the desired outcome, which is either to qualify them, set up the appointment, or put them on follow-up, or drop them in some cases. Are you with me? So you've got to master the art of communication. It is an essential part of this business. Because at some point, whether you generate online leads, offline leads, expireds, FSBOs, referrals, open, none of that matters where the leads come from. All of them are cold at some point. You need to develop an ability to make strangers comfortable talking with you. And more than just talking with you, but be open, have a genuine, open, honest conversation with you. That's not going to happen right away in the first 2 minutes, especially not with expireds, and especially if you're not the first one who they call. But it's a process you can develop and walk them through it. And more importantly, it's a skill. You can learn that skill. You can develop that skill. You can master this skill. You want evidence? You want proof? There was a guy from Czechoslovakia who sounded kind of like Borat. Who was broke, who was homeless, who didn't know shit. Didn't know anything about real estate, selling, communication, influence, none of that stuff. Mastered it. Without any special skills, without any special abilities. You, every single one of you, can do the same thing. And I can help you. I can teach you. If you come on board, you do the Expired Plus, I'll show you how it's done. You role play, you practice the right mindset, and then just do it and do it and do it and do it following a system. So you don't have to think it, you don't have to improvise, you don't have to do any of that. It's already designed. It's just like bam, 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 bam. This step, this step, this step, this step. That's the secret, my friends. That's how you do it. All right, let's see if we have any questions. Jeremy says redial. Yeah, you can call it that. That's exactly right. Call it, let it ring a few times, hang up, wait, and call right back. Exactly. Sarah says recap. Call, pause for 60 seconds, enter them into your CRM. During that time, call again, voicemail, text, then deploy everything else. Exactly. That's exactly how it works, Sarah. Jacqueline says, in the midst of contacting them, can you send them updates or activities that you are doing on other properties that you have on the market? Absolutely, yes. All of those are important. The Expired Plus actually comes with an entire library of follow-up that you can incorporate. But it is important for you to send them updates, especially, excuse me, if you list a property or if you sell something else. Just listed and just sold is important because it demonstrates your capabilities. It demonstrates your expertise. It shows them that you're the authority who's getting shit done. It's a proof, social proof, very important. It shows that you're competent, that you're not just talking the talk, you're walking the walk. So you accomplish it in several ways. There is a direct way and there is kind of a, marketing way. The direct way, of course, you list a property, let them know. Everybody should get a postcard. Hey, just listed John. Especially, this is a bonus, especially if it was an expired listing. Make sure they know that because now they can relate. Here's an interesting thing. People like themselves. Like attracts like. So if a seller who was an expired listing is sitting there going, I don't know, Martha, who should we list with? They get your postcard. Say, oh, look at that. That was another expired listing like us. We should talk to this guy. You with me? So demonstrate your abilities through proof. The second way to do that, remember I said two. The second way is you send a market update. Some of them may be your sale or your listings. Some may not. But giving them helpful information that, if nothing else, curiosity will make them look, starts associating you with real estate and results. And that's the formula. It's just another formula. R plus R plus U. Real estate, results, U. You with me? Now there's more to it, of course. There are other things you need to incorporate in your communication, in your follow-up. Is the frequency, is the tonality, how you communicate, and the questions you ask. It's a little more involved than that. But this will get you going. This will definitely get you going, and you will be on the right track. Because remember, it's going to take 5 to 15. You know where you're going to like this, where most agents give up, most of your competition, even the good ones, about right here, about right there, between 2 and 3. Some do only once, one call. Some, very small group, 2, maybe 3, and then they give up. They go to the next one. If you just stay persistent. Now, of course, it doesn't mean you're going to drop the new ones that coming in. You keep expanding, you keep stuffing that pipeline, because some will relist with the other agent, some will never relist, some you will never hear from, you will never talk to. So you have to keep going, keep going, keep going, keep growing, keep growing, keep growing. And occasionally they'll list with somebody else. That sucks, it hurts. Clean up the database. If your assistant, go through it once in a while and just weed out all those that you've lost. Ask yourself, could I have done something differently? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But you just keep going. You're going to get better, because the best investment you can make is in yourself, getting better. How you communicate. Because when you do have that chance to get them on the phone, you rock it. You crush it. You knock it out of the park. Where they're smitten by you. They're impressed by you. Where it's not a salesmanship, it's not being arrogant, it's not about closing or any of that. It's just you're doing it in a very passionate, optimistic, genuine way. Notice how I coach you. You ever notice the strategies, the mechanics that I deploy? Other than the strong espresso coffee. I do it in a very positive, upbeat, passionate way, because I believe in what I teach you. See, here's the truth. If I didn't believe that expireds could help you, get you more clients, get you more commissions and listings, I wouldn't be wasting my time, and I sure as hell wouldn't be wasting your time. I'd be talking about something else. Now, we do talk about other methods, but I still believe this is the core. Because if you're struggling with something as easy as expireds, they're right there on the platter, right in front of you. All it requires is some tools and some knowledge and some skill. If you struggle with that, how in the world do you expect to build more elaborate or more expensive or more difficult systems to get leads? It's not going to get any easier, friends. If anything, this business is going to get more complex and more competitive. We already see it. Because there's a lot of money from Silicon Valley and from other companies being poured in, trying to use the technology to solve all of these problems and get cut of the business. You got to be ready for it. And one way you're going to be ready for it is you have a system and you have the skills. That is the answer. All right. Mr. Land would like to know, what is the best time to door knock? That really depends on the area where you are. I can tell you what worked for me. I would call early in the morning and I would hop in the car and go visit them right after. Because my goal was to be the first one they talk to. And if I can't reach them on the phone, boom, I go visit them in person. Sometimes even if I do reach them on the phone, they say, go jump in the lake. I know you said jump in the lake. I know you may not be ready. I get it. Just wanted to say hi, introduce myself. I brought some information. Here's a package. Who knows? Maybe you change your mind down the road. Maybe you decide to give it another shot. I'd be happy to talk to you. And sometimes I would get them in a conversation, because the funny thing is, people, even those who are cold or even rude, abrasive on the phone, not many. Most people are actually pretty nice. But those who are not super cool or super friendly were pretty nice in person. There's something different. The dynamic changes. You ever notice that when you talk to somebody in person as opposed to a stranger on the phone? So go visit them. So here's what worked for me. Early in the morning, then those I still hadn't reached, I would go back that evening. Because my assumption is this. With an expired listing, unless and until I know otherwise, I assume they're motivated, they want to sell, they're looking for an agent, and they're ready to go. Because if I don't have any other evidence to prove the contrary, my assumption is they're motivated, they want to sell, they're looking for an agent, and they're ready to go. So my actions support that assumption. So this way, I don't lose an opportunity. Are you with me on that? So early in the morning, late afternoon, and then I still, many of them you will not be able to reach even on 2, go back on the weekend. Saturday morning and Sunday evenings were, again, good windows. So depending on your schedule, your area, and all these factors, pick one. Now, the best way you can do this is test it. Test it. You say, okay, I'm going to hit this neighborhood. I have 7 expireds there. Let's see who I can reach when. And track it for a few days. And then adjust and track it again. You may get slightly different results, but I'd be surprised. Like Saturday morning is a good time to go. But remember, you want to be there early. You want to be the first one or one of the first ones that they talk to. Helpful? What do you say, Mr. Landon? Jeremy like my jump in a lake. Sometimes you hear all kinds of stuff. Most people are at work that early. It's possible. Do your best. Do your best. Do your best. Yes, some people will be at work. Some people will not answer. They will not open the door. Do your best. Because here's what I can tell you. If you don't go, if you don't dial, if you don't try, you have guaranteed 100% chance, 0 chance of getting that listing. Where if I try, they're not home, at least I leave the package. If I go back, they're not home, I leave a little note. There is a text which you're supposed to put on it. Short little post-it note on the door. Third time, if they're not there, I leave a second note. I'm persistent. And they start seeing my name. And I tell you something, many people appreciate hardworking agent because, let's be honest, as an industry, we don't have the best reputation. People think we drive fancy cars, wear $1,000 Armani suits, show houses, make a lot of money, golf on the weekend, and smoke cigars. Some of us. Right? We don't work all that hard from their perspective. Now, you and I know how much work and shit you have to deal with just to get a deal closed. Find the lead, get the lead, list the property, price it right, get it sold, get it appraised, get it inspected, get the repairs done, all kinds of stuff. We know that, but most people don't. So if you show this persistence, if you show them that you're actively working out there, that you're hustling, you're trying, you're an active agent, not some lazy bum sitting on their ass trying to run another Facebook ad or post another blog post that nobody's going to read, they will appreciate that. It resonates with people. Hard work is still attractive. So if you, rather than talking about it, demonstrate it, you score points. Yeah? Make sense? So do that. And besides, what other more productive thing can you be doing? Crafting another blog post? Nobody's going to read that. Come on. Great question, Sarah Marie. She says, what if the seller lives out of town? If it's impossible to drive, then just mail them the package. Just drop it in the mail, send it to them. And again, use the channels you can to see if you can initiate, because your goal, all of this, is just to have a conversation with them. Because during the conversation, several things will happen. You establish your status, you qualify them, you build rapport with them, connection, and decide what the next step should be. Set up an appointment, qualify more, keep in touch, follow up, or drop them. But you can't do that unless you have a conversation with them, either in person or on the phone. So do your best. Yes, sometimes they live out of town. Use the channels you have available. If you have their mailing address, mail them. The first thing I would mail them would be the package. And then see if I can open other channels. Can I get their email? Can I find them on LinkedIn? Can I find them on Facebook? Can I send them video? Can I text them? What channels can I open? More is better. Mr. Todd has a good comment. I have found that early Saturday and Sunday mornings are best door knocking in my area. Perfect. Then do that. That's absolutely terrific. And Raymond says, those little notes were great. Yes, they do, don't they? Because they're interesting. They're different. They're not like this glitzy, polished marketing piece that immediately screams, selling! It's like a note, like a neighbor would leave, you know. You left your door unlocked. So people are curious, they would read it, and they appreciate it. It also shows authenticity that you are actually taking the time to be there. So good, I'm glad it worked. Jacqueline says, Borino, I have gone to an expired and they have told me that they are not selling anymore. Do I continue to send them updates or do not prospect them anymore? Excellent question, Jacqueline. I can't even calculate, and I don't even want to calculate the hundreds of thousands of dollars I lost over my stupidity. But this was definitely up there. I would have a nice seller, we would have a pleasant conversation, and they would say, we wanted to move to Colorado, but we changed our mind. You know, the market is kind of slow. We didn't get much action on our house, and we kind of decided we kind of like it here, like our neighbors. We're going to stay. Fine. Seemed like very genuine, real people who didn't have a reason to really lie to me. I had a pleasant conversation with them. I said, well, you know, if things change, let me know. But I decided not to follow up with them. A month later, cold anchor sign in the front yard. And I'm driving by, you know, my first reaction was like, flared up, flames coming out. Son of a bitch. Asshole lied to me. Why did they lie to me? You see, it's not that they were lying to me. Very often they make these statements like, we don't know what we're going to do. We're going to stay. We're going to go back to our previous. is driven by emotions. Our behavior, you know this already, is driven by emotions. So what emotions do most expireds experience? Let's go down the list. They're frustrated. They're tired. They're angry. They're confused. They're scared. They don't know who to trust. And these are the emotions that govern their decision at that moment. They're pissed off at their agent, and their reaction is like, fuck it, let's just not deal with it. Right? You've been in situations like that. I know I have. Where I know sooner or later I have to deal with it, but sure hell's hell not going to be now. So when you come in and you have a conversation with them, and they'll tell you, we're going to stay, is it possible? Yes. And I would have some leads where I kept in touch, sometimes for a year, nothing. But I also had leads where we keep in touch, never even have a conversation with them sometimes. Half a year later, I get a call from Mr. Jones on Oak Street. No clue who Mr. Jones on Oak Street is, but it says, you've been sending us stuff, we see your name all over the place, we want to talk to you. We're thinking about selling a house again, putting it back on the market. Bing! I actually have a sound effect for that. Hold on. Where is it? Ah, so Mr. Jones calls me and says, we want to sell again. A little gift from my son, makes sound effects. Thank you very much. So, unless you're certain, and yes, thank you. There will be some sellers who simply either were not motivated to begin with, or their plans have changed, life has changed. They decided to stay. They were not realistic, they were overpriced, whatever. If you're convinced, if you're certain that they're not going to move, then yeah, sure, no need to follow up with those. But I very often was wrong in my judgment because very often they changed their mind. Because the emotions have shifted, have changed. And the smart agent who picked up the listing and the strategy I developed later was the strategy of hope. Where rather than trying to have them sell them on me and why am I the best choice, I first had to sell them on the idea of moving. It can be done. It's possible. Other people are doing it. And remember, like attracts like. So if I can show them, demonstrate them, other people are selling. That's why the just listed, just sold postcard market updates rekindle that hope. And with some patience, you would be surprised how many people will come back and says, you know what, let's give it another try. And while most of the agents are long gone, no systems, no follow-up, no nothing, if you keep in touch with them, you may score some. Not always, not right away, but you will be surprised how many will come back, sometimes weeks, even months later, and say, let's do this. Now with that, of course, keep going after more. You always want to expand. Here's the beautiful part. With a good follow-up system, with a good contact management system, most of this can be automated. All you have to do is jump on the phone once in a while, see if you can reach them on the phone to have that conversation. But other than that, text can be automated, mail can be automated, social media can be done by your assistant. Most of it can be done and delegated by somebody else, so you're not wasting a lot of time following up, doing the admin part of the follow-up that can be executed by a system and your staff. Where your time best spent is go talk to them in person, executing, following up, calling, setting up appointments. Are you with me? So that's what I would do. Yeah? Mr. Landon has a question. What's the best way to find email? I find it impossible to find them. It's not going to be easy, and there is no ideal system, but if you check like Vulcan 7 or Espresso, sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you get it on LinkedIn. So be resourceful. Do reach out through these channels. See what you can get, okay? All right. And Mr. Jeremy says, all right, coach, and everyone in the feed, got to go hop on the dial for my client in Sacramento, California, trying to Guatab. Yeah, try it. See what you think. All right, my friends. So if you want to jump on board, I will, if you get it today, if you order the Expired Plus today, here it is, expiredplus.com. Jump on it. I will personally help you set it up. So you're going to get a package from us. You're going to get this book with all this. This is the latest version. I just rewrote the whole thing. This is for 2019. Latest book. Get it. You're going to get the book. You're going to get online access to all the marketing materials that you're going to put together, your resume, postcards, and all that we're going to incorporate. I want you to read the book, watch a couple of quick start videos, how to get started. Once you do that, you will set up an appointment with me personally. I'll put you on my calendar, and you and I will talk. And I will walk you through it. I will answer your questions, troubleshoot it, help you set it up. So you're up and running, taking listings, taking expired listings. All right? Okay. So we'd love to have you. Go to expiredplus.com. With that, my friends, wishing you a very productive day. Go try it. What's the worst that can happen? Get on the phone, use these strategies, use these techniques. Go talk to some people. If nothing else, improve your ability to talk to strangers, because this is the core of your job, is to make strangers feel comfortable to the level that they can make a reasonable, educated, intelligent decision about moving. That's your job. Find these people, communicate with them, build trust and connection so you can guide them through the process. So if you go talk to these people, that's really what I did at the beginning when I started working expired listings. It's just to see how I can engage somebody, look them in the eye, and really have a conversation, to really listen, to really pay attention. Works like magic. Especially people like you who are authentic, real, who are not just, salespeople chasing bucks. Of course you want to get paid. Of course you want to make money. Absolutely. But beyond that, that desire you guys have, and this is what attracts people to Rockstars, is to be a good servant, to help people, to really make a difference in their life. People pick up on it, and they will reward it. And the reason I know that is because I discovered it. I help you genuinely. I answer your questions. I give you tools that I know will make a difference. I love these notes and emails. I got like 2 this morning where people said, I'm watching your videos on YouTube and they're so helpful. This is so cool. You saved my career. And I genuinely appreciate that. That's why I do this. Yes, I want to get paid. Of course, I run a company and I have a staff that I need to pay and I have a family to feed. But none of that would matter if this stuff didn't work, if it didn't help you, if you thought I'm just a fast-talking salesman or selling you something that was cool 20 years ago. No, it needs to work now. And I stand behind it. That's why we have money-back guarantee, and honor it. If you're not happy with it, if you think it doesn't work for you, just send it back. Or hell, just keep it. Keep the book. I don't care. We'll refund it. That's how much I believe in it. And that's how much I believe I can help you. Groovy? All right, guys. Ellie would like to know if this will be uploaded to YouTube. Yes. Who answers, I want it? Well, I just happen to have one. Well, we have a whole bunch. Go to expiredplus.com, order, set up, you will get an email from me. And in that email, there'll be a link. First, to download the materials, that's number 1. Read the book, number 2. Watch the videos, number 3. And then you're going to set up an appointment with me. Yeah? And I'll be happy to help you, Juan. And everybody else. All right, friends. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, Grace, good to see you as always. Nice to see you. Glad you enjoyed the session, my friends. Go out there. There are people out there who need your help. There will be over 5 million transactions closed this year. As we're entering the last quarter of 2019, it's going to be a nice push with a lot of opportunities. How many are you going to grab? It's going to come down to mindset, systems, and action. The right mindset, the right set of beliefs, systems that you have in place, and taking consistent action. Está bien? Speaking of Grace, if you haven't watched that little video that my coach Roxy recorded with Miss Grace, please watch it. It's posted here and we're going to upload it. I think if we haven't already, we're going to upload it to YouTube. Very inspirational, a lot of good stuff. Thanks for sharing that, Grace. Really appreciate it. All right, my friends, time to go. Have a productive day. I'll talk to you real soon. Another live coming tomorrow with Coach Borino on Tuesday, answering your questions, helping you become a real estate rock star. Tomorrow's session will be kind of cool. It's titled, I Hate Cold Calling. I hate cold... I didn't say it right. Let me try again. I hate cold calling! So that's coming tomorrow. Have a terrific day. I'll talk to you soon. Coach Borino signing off. Let's go get him. Ciao.